feeling like I'm academics. Can't ride away.
It's cool. So, the Diddy doc is #1 on all platforms. 50's been celebrating like a motherfucker with it. He's like really boasting and bragging that he kind of created this documentary. Now, if you look at it, it's sitting at #1 in the UK. It's also #1 in the US. It's #1 everywhere. Okay, if you don't know, it's a 4-part docuseries that actually depicts like a really not convoluted, but it brings you all the way back to Diddy's like, early career in the early 90s and details how money, fame, and a ego took a man from New York City to being like this mogul that essentially felt he could do whatever he wanted. Now, I kind of gave like a review of it, and I just watched the last episode before I started the stream. There's not much, it doesn't show you much redeeming factors of Diddy, right? And obviously you got to remember the person who executive produces is Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, who's no friend of Diddy, but it doesn't show you anything redeeming about him. Like, it doesn't kind of show a convoluted picture of, yo, this is a guy who had many sides. Like, he was philanthropic, he was a man of the people, he was a family man, but he was also a creep and a freak or whatever you want to say. And you could at least see different sides of him. This whole documentary kind of paints Diddy as a guy who just fucked over everybody along his path, his unstoppable path to fame and success. A shiesty motherfucker, a creepy motherfucker, a guy who had insatiable appetite for money, fame, power, and clearly for sex. So I think if you ask me, that's what 50 input is. There's nothing in this documentary that makes you feel bad for Diddy at all. Now, obviously, I think the intended purpose here is also to kind of like refresh the memory or refresh the vitriol that people were feeling about Diddy when we first saw that video where he was beating up Cassie. I've made the suggestion that ever since he got found not guilty of sex trafficking, and also once people like kind of like got their opinion after seeing how the trial went, people don't. I think the public, I'm not saying that they love Diddy, but I think the hatred for him went down a bit, and I think this docuseries, it kind of goes to tug on the heartstrings. And by the way, the 4th episode, he's pretty much even saying like, "Yo, Diddy got PR to make it look like he wasn't exactly what he was really accused of." Almost like it's on a reverse level where they're like, no, he was charged for the right things. This guy is a sex trafficker. But the idea that people like, and even people like myself came out later and said like, oh, no, you know what? Maybe he's just not, they overcharged him. They're saying that was Diddy doing a whole PR job. So interesting doc, but obviously 50 is a person who's commissioned it, which I've told you, I'm like, if the baby father of your last chick has to tell your story, it won't be a good story. I could tell. Anyway. There's still like some back and forth over the footage, and for that, 50 also posted something that I'm gonna play, where he's basically explaining how this footage got out or how Diddy usually treats people who recorded for him or work for him, and that's why later there was always leaks in organization.
And I have a lot of guys that I look up to their accomplishments, but I wouldn't call them my heroes.
Right. You don't wear another man's jersey on your back.
Yeah.
Respect. Your favorite villain?
My favorite villain? I kind of like Diddy.
Nah, 50's hilarious. Cool. Now, in trying to explain how, like we have videos of Diddy talking with his attorneys and talking with his sons, trying to plan strategy to change the perception, which clearly it didn't do much at the time. And he's planning watching how his empire's crumbling. He's trying to get people to put out statements like Kalina. And obviously, that would be footage that only Diddy and Diddy's team had. I told you about the cameraman, looked like a younger white guy who was at least one of the cameramen that he allowed unfiltered access to his life that could film him when he wasn't even paying attention to the camera. Former Bad Boy Security Roger Bonds, he's saying, if you're wondering how shit like that leaks when it comes to Diddy, this is how. Check this out.
I'm getting it. It's your bonds. Yo, man, how 50 get? Blah, blah, blah. Yo, Puff, take this self doing that. Let me explain something to y'all. All right? Whether it's NDAs, whether it's whatever. When these young boys come in, first of all, he only deal with young videographers.
Pause.
Because he want to rob them, and he know that they want the opportunity to follow Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. They want that opportunity. So they get him at a low price anyway. But when you stay out so many hours a day, Puff wants a videographer with him 24 hours a day on call. Whether we on a yacht, whether we on a ship, wherever we at, he wants to videotape that, right? So now, they come to agreement. They come to whatever the pay is going to be. But then it be so many hours on that invoice that he don't want to pay. He gets in touch with the office. He gets in touch with the chief of staff. Yo, what is this I'm paying? What is this I'm paying? You know what you paying. You was outside all of these hours. It's 160 something hours in a week. You was outside 140. That's the invoice he put in. So now, being if you got a contract and he don't stand to that contract, guess what happens? He could do whatever he want to do with that footage. So now that footage goes to the highest bidder. And 50 had to be the highest bidder to get there. Yo, this is business. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't in love with you.
Hey, is the audio or video right?
Everybody ain't dedicated. Everybody ain't loyal to the point of stupidity. Trust me, calls I'm getting it. It's your bonds. Yo, man, how 50.
Okay, so he's kind of echoing the same sentiment. Like, yo, most likely, Diddy didn't pay them guys. And he's saying that Diddy had a bad habit of kind of like racking up a bill. And then, we heard even Aubrey Day say, like, Diddy liked to have people like begging, groveling, and always wanted them to have their hand out and having to need him for something. So at times when he owed people shit, he wouldn't just be forthcoming and just give it to them because he wanted to create that kind of need and dependency that people would have on him. So it's kind of interesting. Anyway, it's actually a really good documentary. It's a really good documentary. I say that with acknowledging that, yes, it's biased, right? Because the storytelling is skewed to have you believe that he's a horrible person. However, if you're just judging a documentary and you're judging the storytelling aspect, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay. All right. Let's go down this Instagram page and see what's up.